Yes.
How are you,
I'm
Leslie?
good. Thank you very much. Since I've met you, I've done so many things. I've traveled so many miles. I'm now an
An
MBE.
MBE?
Yep,
So I hear.
added to the club. So now my official title would be Dr. Leslie Sebastian Charles, MBE.
Lovely.
Can't be bad.
Good to have you in the studio. You're looking wonderful as usual. Now,
you very
a
much.
little birdie tells me that you've hit the new 50.
I've hit the, yeah, I certainly have.
First studio album of new material in 10 years.
About that, no, well, not quite, because I did. Oh, no, yeah, you're right. New material, yeah, because I did one about 3 or 4 years ago, but that wasn't all new material. That was like
More greatest hits and
yeah,
stuff.
classic people like this, things I've always wanted to do, like Sam Cooke and Nat King Cole. Songs that I sort of grew up with, that my mother used to sing and encourage me to sing, and learn the songs, and I used to sing to her, basically.
What made you decide to dig into your craft and get new material? What was the...
Well, because it's a natural thing for anyone that sort of you like composing. If you're a creative person, that's something that never really dies, and you always have the. And why I didn't record original material the first time is because it was the first album I would have made for a long while, and lack of confidence. Don't know who you're going to be working with. You don't know anything. Sort of self finance, basically. So you don't want to take too many chances. The right thing to do would be record, but not necessarily take too many chances. So, of course, record songs that people know.
And I suppose being a creative, it's got to feel right, hasn't it?
Exactly,
And,
yeah.
because you're not going to get in front of a microphone not feeling that your best is
Exactly.
going to come out. So I suppose all of the facets involved in recording,
That's right.
all the little steps along the way,
That's right.
they've got to feel right. So
They've
that
got to
when you
feel
get
right.
to what I would say the end product, it's actually the beginning, isn't
That's
it?
right, exactly. So to sort of feel my way and get my little confidence back, etc., etc. It also gave me a chance to sort of get back with my old producer, Barry Eastman.
Yeah.
So once we got that sorted out, we thought, right, new album, new product, new material, and here I am.
Was Barry more the brains behind the producing of When the Going Gets Tough?
No, Mutt Lang was really the brains behind the producing. Barry was more the brains behind things like Sad Songs and Color of Love.
Okay.
The producers I've worked with, Keith Diamond, Caribbean Queen, Barry Eastman, Color of Love. But Barry was involved in part of the writing with When the Going Gets Tough.
Okay.
Mutt was the producer. And it's nice again to be working with Barry again, because it used to be four of us. It used to be Barry Eastman, Wayne Brathwaite, Keith Diamond, and myself. We lost Keith Diamond and we lost Wayne Brathwaite. So it's only myself and Barry left now.
Okay. Whenever I think of the film Jewel in the Nile, I think of the video to When the Going Gets Tough.
Yes.
So there you are singing away.
That's right.
And your three backing singers are
I know.
Danny DeVito,
That's right.
Kathleen Turner,
That's right.
and Michael Douglas. And we very recently lost Kirk Douglas.
Yes, I'm reading that in the papers this morning.
Yes. Is there a Kirk Douglas film that really stands out for you, or is there a Michael Douglas memory?
No, Kirk
that
Douglas
stands
was a
out?
great actor.
Wasn't he
one
just?
of his greatest. Kirk Douglas made some great westerns. One of his greatest thing was
Spartacus.
that's what Spartacus. He's a great actor.
Yeah.
He was like one of the original actors. In fact, the sad thing is, I don't know too many of these new actors. Don't ask me why. And I don't think it's much to do with age. I remember when my kids say to me, such as I said, listen, the ones I remember, the John Waynes and the Robert Mitchum and them sort of people. I don't know any of the new actors. Because my favorite film is Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
Right? I love westerns. Clint Eastwood, that sort of thing. Some of these films are just a little bit too clever for me.
Too clever?
A little bit too clever.
Okay.
I want to be entertained. I don't want to be having to sit and working out what's happening and what. Hit me in my face with it.
But Billy, we rely on you to entertain us now, don't we?
Yeah, I enjoy that. That's part of my. That's part of my what's I'm looking for. That's part of my life. I accept that. I understand more about that now than I did when I was younger. I understand now that, when I was younger, why did I do it? Did I do it for money? Did I do it because I was told to? Did I do it for, of course, you start off doing it for the love of it.
Yeah.
But then that can soon, with the pressures and thing around you, that can soon, fade away a little bit. But now at this age, I know why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because I make people happy.
And you also say about this album, One World,
One World.
it's captured a lot of your musical influences over the years.
Yes.
So it's almost as though this album is for this moment. All of these
my God, yeah.
journeys, all of the people
Yeah.
you've worked with, they're
And-
now coming together on this
That's
album.
right. And especially what's happening in the world right now, basically. You look around, you see so many things that is really out of focus, basically. Being 70 years old, I don't feel ashamed to be venting my thoughts. I don't feel ashamed to be putting into music the things that I see. I feel I should. I think people like myself should, without being too outrageous, without being too radical. But to be there are many topics out there that needs to be
Heard.
heard. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
You're looking forward to touring. The tour starts in autumn, doesn't it?
Yeah. I start. In fact, as far as I'm concerned, I'm touring. All this is part of touring because I'm setting things up.
Yeah.
I'm promoting the album. I just came back from Scotland. The album comes out on April 17th.
Do you ever think back to when you were sewing in Savile Row? Did it ever dawn on you that your singing, which you clearly loved at the time, would take you to this global place?
No, I prayed to God it would.
Yeah.
I really did, because it was my wish and my desire. Not being very academic, I'm sort of self-taught in lots of things, really. I found it very hard. I struggled at school. Terribly struggled. I used to look at other kids that were really bright and wonder, how can you be so bright? What makes you so bright? It makes me so dumb. But then you know what? My love was in music.
Well, no, you're not dumb.
love is in music.
Everyone, okay, and you've got kids, I've got kids.
Yeah,
It's okay to be academic and creative.
right.
It's not necessarily a 50-50 split.
That's right.
So your percentage was higher
What's high?
than your academic,
that's
but
right.
you're still doing
That's right.
what you're meant to be doing.
That's right.
So let's talk about, if I can go back
Right.
to your first ever gig.
My first
Your
ever gig.
first ever gig. Can you
Yeah.
rewind that?
Yeah, my first ever gig. Well, to say my first ever gig was when I was small. I used to be with my father.
Yeah.
If you want to call that a gig, to me that was all part.
Tell me about, but you were Leslie.
Right.
Tell me about your first ever gig as Billy Ocean.
My first ever gig as Billy Ocean was really on Top of the Pops.
Okay.
Yeah. After I wrote Love Really Hurts Without You,
Okay.
and it went up the chart, got to number 2, and I was like, oh my God, horror. I have got to see. I mean, really.
I'm not ready for this.
I'm not ready for this.
Yeah.
And I really hadn't done any sort of gigs or anything. My first introduction to the, professional music business was on Top of the Pops.
So if I was going to ask you about your first time of performing to an audience, not on television.
Right.
So there's a promotion,
before-
people buy their tickets
Right.
and they go and see Billy Ocean. What was that like?
Oh my God, that was quite frightening. I was
Really?
nervous. Yeah, I get nervous, still get nervous, but not that sort of negative nervous. You get nervous now that you want it to, to be right. You want it to go good. Not like I used to be, like those people out there was like, oh my God, well, it's like, but what you don't realize, they came to see you. They're your friends. They're your
Absolutely.
friends.
We're looking forward to the album One World, and we're looking forward to the tour as well.
Thank you very much.